muscle loss does not begin suddenly. It develops quietly, often without pain, without warning, and without immediate weakness. This condition, known medically as sarcopenia, starts when the body slowly loses its ability to rebuild muscle tissue at the same rate it breaks it down. In younger years, muscle repair happens efficiently. Protein intake, movement, and hormones work together to maintain strength. As age increases, this balance changes. Muscle protein synthesis slows down, while muscle breakdown accelerates. This imbalance is the true beginning of muscle loss. One of the biggest misconceptions about muscle loss is that it only affects people who are inactive. In reality, even individuals who remain moderately active can experience muscle decline if their nutrition does not support muscle repair. Muscles are metabolically active tissues. They require constant nourishment, oxygen, and hormonal signaling to remain strong. When the body lacks specific nutrients, muscle fibers shrink, weaken, and lose density. This process reduces strength, balance, and metabolic health. Another major contributor to sarcopenia is reduced sensitivity to protein. As the body ages, muscles become less responsive to dietary protein. This means that even when protein is consumed, the muscle cells do not use it effectively unless it is paired with the right nutrients and timing. Amino acids, especially leucine, play a central role in activating muscle growth pathways. Without enough leucine-rich foods, muscle repair signals remain weak. Inflammation also accelerates muscle loss. Chronic low-grade inflammation interferes with muscle regeneration and increases muscle breakdown. Poor dietary choices, excess sugar intake, and processed foods increase inflammatory markers in the body. Over time, this inflammatory environment prevents muscles from repairing efficiently. Hormonal changes further compound the problem. Declines in growth hormone, testosterone, and insulin sensitivity reduce the body's ability to maintain lean muscle mass. The solution does not begin with exercise alone. Nutrition is the foundation. Certain foods directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis, reduce inflammation, and improve nutrient absorption. These foods act as biological signals, telling the body to preserve muscle tissue. Without them, even resistance training produces limited results. Muscle loss is not simply about weakness. It affects posture, joint stability, blood sugar control, and overall longevity. Preventing sarcopenia protects independence and physical function. Understanding muscle loss requires shifting focus from calories to quality. Muscles respond to nutrient density, not just food volume. Whole foods rich in essential amino acids, healthy fats, and micronutrients restore muscle-building pathways. The earlier this process is supported, the more effectively muscle mass can be preserved. The body relies on specific foods to activate muscle repair mechanisms. Protein quality matters more than protein quantity. Animal and plant sources differ in amino acid composition, digestion speed, and muscle activation potential. Foods rich in complete proteins provide all essential amino acids required for muscle rebuilding. Among these, certain foods stand out because they deliver leucine, iron, zinc, and vitamin B12, all critical for muscle strength. Healthy fats play a crucial role in muscle preservation. Omega-3 fatty acids improve muscle cell sensitivity to protein and reduce inflammation. When muscle cells become more responsive, they use dietary protein more efficiently. This is especially important in older adults, where anabolic resistance limits muscle growth. Omega-3 intake enhances muscle protein synthesis even without increasing protein consumption. Carbohydrates are often misunderstood in muscle health. Proper carbohydrate intake supports muscle glycogen levels, which are essential for strength and endurance. Low glycogen levels increase muscle fatigue and accelerate breakdown. Complex carbohydrates also reduce cortisol spikes, protecting muscle tissue from stress-induced loss. Micronutrients are equally important. Magnesium supports muscle contraction and relaxation. Zinc influences testosterone production and protein metabolism. Vitamin D regulates muscle fiber function and strength. Deficiencies in these nutrients weaken muscles even when calorie intake is adequate. Sunlight exposure and food sources rich in vitamin D significantly improve muscle performance. Timing of food intake affects muscle preservation. Muscles are more receptive to nutrients after physical activity and during evening repair cycles. Consuming protein-rich foods evenly throughout the day prevents long gaps that promote muscle breakdown. Skipping meals or relying on one large protein intake reduces overall muscle protein synthesis. Hydration also influences muscle health. Dehydration reduces nutrient transport and increases muscle fatigue. Water supports cellular function and prevents muscle cramping and weakness. Even mild dehydration impairs muscle performance and recovery. Avoiding muscle loss requires consistency, not extremes. Crash diets, excessive fasting, and low-protein plans accelerate sarcopenia. The body interprets nutrient deprivation as a survival threat and sacrifices muscle tissue to conserve energy. Balanced nutrition sends the opposite signal, encouraging preservation and repair. Defeating sarcopenia requires aligning nutrition, movement, and recovery. Food alone cannot preserve muscle if the body does not receive signals to use it. Resistance-based movement activates muscle fibers and stimulates growth pathways. This does not require heavy lifting. Controlled, regular muscle engagement is enough to trigger repair mechanisms. Sleep is a critical but often overlooked factor. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormone, which supports muscle regeneration. Poor sleep reduces this hormone and increases cortisol, leading to muscle breakdown. Establishing a consistent sleep routine enhances muscle repair and nutrient utilization. Stress management protects muscle tissue. Chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, which directly break down muscle protein. Relaxation techniques, proper breathing, and balanced daily routines help regulate stress hormones. Lower cortisol levels preserve muscle mass and improve recovery. Digestive health influences muscle preservation. Poor digestion reduces protein absorption and mineral uptake, supporting gut health with fiber-rich foods and adequate hydration improves nutrient availability. Efficient digestion ensures muscles receive the building blocks they need. Muscle loss is reversible in its early stages when the body receives the correct nutrients, signals, and recovery time. Muscle tissue responds positively. Strength improves, endurance increases, and physical stability returns. Preventing sarcopenia is not about perfection. It is about daily alignment with the body's biological needs. Muscle preservation supports more than strength. It stabilizes joints, protects bones, improves metabolism, and enhances overall quality of life. By focusing on nutrient-dense foods, consistent movement, and recovery, muscle loss can be slowed, stopped, and even reversed. Saying goodbye to muscle loss begins with understanding that muscles are living systems. When supported correctly, they remain strong, responsive, and resilient at any age. The role of food in stopping muscle loss goes far beyond basic nutrition. Muscles are not passive tissues that simply exist on the body. They are active organs that constantly respond to what is eaten, how often nutrients arrive, and whether the body feels safe enough to invest energy in repair. When the right foods are missing, the body shifts into conservation mode. In this state, muscle tissue is gradually broken down to supply energy and amino acids for vital organs. This is how sarcopenia silently progresses. One of the most powerful ways to interrupt this process is through foods that are rich in high-quality protein. Protein provides amino acids, which are the raw materials muscles need to rebuild. Among these amino acids, leucine plays a special role. Leucine directly activates the muscle-building pathway known as mTOR, which signals muscle cells to repair and grow. Without enough leucine, muscle protein synthesis remains low. Even if total protein intake seems adequate, Foods that naturally contain high leucine levels send a strong message to the body that muscle tissue should be preserved. Equally important is how protein is delivered throughout the day. Large gaps between meals cause muscle breakdown because the body has no incoming amino acids. When protein is consumed in balanced amounts across meals, muscle protein synthesis stays active for longer periods. This steady supply reduces muscle wasting and improves strength over time. The body responds best to consistency, not extremes. Another group of essential foods are those rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s improve muscle cell sensitivity to insulin and amino acids. This means muscles are better able to absorb nutrients and use them for repair. Omega-3s also reduce chronic inflammation, which is a major driver of muscle loss. In an inflamed environment, muscle tissue breaks down faster than it can rebuild. Reducing inflammation restores balance and allows muscles to respond normally to nutrition and movement. Complex carbohydrates also play a vital role in muscle preservation. Muscles rely on stored glucose, called glycogen, for energy. When glycogen levels are low, the body turns to muscle protein for fuel. This accelerates muscle loss. Complex carbohydrates provide steady energy, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce cortisol release. Lower cortisol levels protect muscle tissue from breakdown. This is why extremely low carbohydrate diets often lead to weakness and muscle wasting, especially in older adults. Micronutrients cannot be ignored. Magnesium supports muscle contraction, relaxation, and energy production. Zinc is involved in protein synthesis and hormone regulation. Iron supports oxygen delivery to muscle cells, which is essential for endurance and repair. Vitamin D influences muscle fiber strength and coordination. Deficiencies in these nutrients weaken muscles even if calorie intake is sufficient. Foods that provide these minerals naturally are far more effective than isolated supplementation because they work synergistically within the body. Healthy fats also support hormone production. Hormones such as testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin all influence muscle maintenance. Diets that are too low in fat disrupt hormonal balance and reduce muscle repair capacity. Including natural sources of healthy fats help stabilize these hormones and supports long-term muscle strength. Hydration is another critical but often overlooked factor. Water is required for nutrient transport, cellular function, and waste removal. Dehydrated muscle cells become weak, fatigued, and prone to breakdown. Even mild dehydration reduces muscle performance and recovery. Proper hydration ensures that nutrients reach muscle tissue efficiently and metabolic waste is removed promptly. Digestive efficiency determines how well food supports muscles. Poor digestion limits amino acid absorption and mineral uptake. Supporting digestive health allows the body to extract maximum value from food. When digestion improves, muscle tissue benefits directly through better nutrient availability. Muscle loss is not caused by aging alone. It is driven by nutritional signals that tell the body whether muscle tissue is worth maintaining. Foods rich in complete proteins, omega-3s, complex carbohydrates, essential minerals, and healthy fats send a powerful preservation signal. Over time, these foods restore the body's natural ability to protect and rebuild muscle tissue. Preventing and reversing muscle loss requires a long-term biological strategy rather than short-term effort. Once the body understands that muscle tissue is supported and needed, it begins to conserve and rebuild it naturally. This process depends on three critical pillars: proper nutrition timing, physical stimulation of muscle fibers, and deep recovery. When these elements work together, sarcopenia slows down and muscle strength improves steadily. Muscle tissue responds best to regular signals. Infrequent activity tells the body that muscle is unnecessary. Consistent movement sends the opposite message. Resistance-based activity, even at a moderate level, activates muscle fibers and triggers repair pathways. This does not require intense workouts. Controlled movements that engage large muscle groups stimulate protein synthesis and strengthen neuromuscular connections. Without this signal, even the best nutrition cannot fully protect muscle mass. Nutrition timing enhances this effect. Muscles are most receptive to amino acids after physical activity and during the evening repair window. Spreading protein intake evenly throughout the day ensures that muscle building signals remain active. Skipping meals or consuming most protein in a single sitting limits total muscle protein synthesis. Small, regular doses of high-quality protein improve retention and reduce breakdown. Sleep plays a central role in muscle preservation. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormone, which directly supports muscle repair and regeneration. Poor sleep reduces growth hormone levels and increases cortisol, a hormone that breaks down muscle tissue. Establishing a consistent sleep routine improves hormonal balance and enhances recovery. Muscles rebuild when the body is rested, not when it is constantly stimulated. Stress management is equally important. Chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, which accelerate muscle protein breakdown. Persistent stress also reduces insulin sensitivity, limiting nutrient uptake by muscle cells. Relaxation, proper breathing, and structured daily routines help lower cortisol and protect muscle tissue. A calm nervous system supports muscle preservation. Metabolic health strongly influences muscle strength. Stable blood sugar levels reduce inflammation and prevent muscle breakdown. Large spikes in blood sugar increase insulin resistance, which limits glucose and amino acid uptake by muscle cells. Balanced meals that combine protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates support metabolic stability and muscle health. Inflammation control remains a key factor. Chronic inflammation disrupts muscle repair and increases breakdown. Anti-inflammatory nutrients, adequate sleep, hydration, and stress reduction work together to calm the internal environment. When inflammation is controlled, muscles regain their ability to respond to nutrition and activity. Consistency is the most powerful factor in defeating sarcopenia. Muscles do not respond to occasional effort. They adapt to daily signals. Small, repeated actions accumulate into significant improvements over time. Muscle strength increases gradually. Balance improves, and physical confidence returns. Muscle loss is not an unavoidable consequence of aging. It is a reversible condition when the body receives clear signals of support. With proper food choices, regular movement, quality sleep, and stress control, the body preserves muscle tissue efficiently. Muscles remain functional, responsive, and strong when they are treated as a vital system rather than an afterthought. By aligning daily habits with the body's biological needs, muscle loss can be slowed, stopped, and even reversed. This approach protects independence, mobility, and long-term health.